This is the K95.3 Sports Show podcast, brought to you by The Fan Zone in Wilmer's Candy Mall.
Welcome to the K95.3 Sports Show podcast. My name is Beau. I am your host. Thank you for tuning in. As usual, please hit the subscribe button if you like what you hear. Hit the thumbs up button on this video if you like what you hear. And also, if you hit the bell button next to the subscribe button, you'll get push notifications every time a new episode drops every Wednesday morning. Thank you to the Fan Zone for sponsoring the sports show. We appreciate you guys doing that. Get into the Candy Mall today and check out the Fan Zone. Also, the K95 Sports Show is now on Twitter at K95.3 Sports Show. At K95.3 Sports Show. Go on into Twitter, follow me. I'm usually on there most games of the Twins I watch, so I'm usually commenting, replying back on stuff. So we can kind of continue conversations throughout the week during the Twins game. So please check me out on Twitter and follow me there. We will be doing the Stinger Spotlight again this week. We have Daniel Walsh is the Spotlight out of Sacramento City College, and he's been already the MVP of the game of the Stingers game for 3 or 4 games now this year. So a great kid. His interview is coming up here after we talk a little Twins. This week for Twins, I brought in Jeremy Goulet from the front office. Hello, Jeremy.
Hello.
And I have brought in Mr. Dan Schell back again to talk. How's it going, Dan?
Hey, dudes.
Good to have you both in here. It's always fun when us three sit out and talk. So let's jump into the Twins talk.
My whole plan was to open with howdy, and then at this last minute I went, "Hi, dudes."
Well, that was just as weird and creepy. So
okay, all right, fair enough.
Best laid plans, what can I say?
So Twins, since the show last week, 4-3. Not the best, not the worst.
Also, not time to go running for the ejector seat. I mean,
not by
take
any
it
means.
easy.
Exactly. We took 2 out of 3 from Seattle, 2 out of 3 from Kansas City. I will take 2 out of 3 every single day.
Absolutely, we're so spoiled already.
And that's what it is.
For how often have we said just win a series, and that's fine. We're winning series. That's what we're supposed to do.
Yep. And how many of those games? I mean, even just in Kansas City playing that. I mean, a lot of those, and in Seattle. I mean, we were behind in some of those games.
Yeah.
I mean, we just fired. We kept. I mean, just play our game. And we get there. So, I mean, we're not going to win every game this season. It's just not going to happen.
We've blown out teams, and this last week we had to come back a few times in the late innings. So that's another quality of a good team, is that when you're down, you're not out. You expect something to happen.
Absolutely.
You expect a good crooked number coming up at some point late in the game and hopefully winning it, And so, as a whole, I'm not disappointed. Even looking at the other teams over the last, we still got the best overall record in baseball.
Wow!
Even after doing that, it's
that's incredible.
And that's one more thing to look at it though. It's like teams they're going to have ups and downs. So I mean, just ride it. We're fine.
Yeah. Yankees over the last 10, 5-5.
Good.
We're 6-4. Astros 6-4. Another one close to us. Dodgers 5-5. So it just shows it's not like we're just
plateauing or even falling behind.
Exactly.
No, not at all.
Every team that is up there with us, has that kind of 6-4, 5-5 over the last 10 days. And so we're not losing ground. We're still 10 games up on the division, which is still, I believe, the highest. Dodgers also are up 10 games. So us and the Dodgers are up the most in the division.
Awesome.
And so nothing to cry home about. Like I mentioned earlier, the Twitter, Twins Twitter is acting like, last night when we lost to literally the world champions. That it was the end of the world.
It's mid-June. I mean, there's so much baseball left. I mean, I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. I mean, a lot can happen, but it's far too early to start, counting a season won or over. I mean,
absolutely. No, it's good. And it's pretty rare that we get skunked this year, so maybe that's why it stands out.
Yeah, only the second time, I believe.
Yeah.
And only the third or maybe it was the fourth or fifth time that we've lost 2 in a row.
Okay.
Normally we've talked about it many times on this program, how we've come back after a loss and win. And
been incredible with that.
Yeah, and there was, a few things, like on Sunday's game was a little aggravating watching it. I mean, we ended up leaving 15 guys on base.
15.
Yeah, that's tough.
Bases loaded 3 times
and got
during the
nothing
game.
out of it.
And then, of course, last night, losing 2-0 in the 8th inning, in the bottom of the 8th, Scope got on with a hit. Kepler walked. And I'll ask you guys a question on this because this is another little controversy on that. So, bottom of the 8th, down 1-0, first and second, no outs. Polanco's up to bat. Polanco ended up bunting, and from what I've been reading, that was 100% on him.
Oh, really?
He was not told to bunt. He decided to bunt.
Wow.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, the league leader in average bunting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, he's got the speed, and he was close. He almost beat it out. But your Jeremy, you first. Your thoughts on that?
And sometimes with that kind of stuff, I think that maybe you can even you start to try to overplay your hand. You think that the other team is thinking, I'm gonna be swinging away.
Oh, sure.
And you come up there and try to do a little deke, quick boom, bunk, and
sure,
because
third baseman's way back or whatever.
Exactly,
and so you take a shot at it.
You would most likely think that if I've got the speed and they're not expecting me to try to bunt. Why not? But yeah, it is kind of tough when you see that happen. You're just like, what was that all about? Because you expect to see that big loping swing of his, And
exactly. And it's such a perfect thing for people to argue about. The league leader, in hits and swinging the bat, is he the worst person to bunt or is he the best person to bunt? Because you don't see it coming. I don't know. And
a lot of people have said. I saw one guy on Twitter. He broke this down. I don't know where he got these percentages from. But he said, he bunted over both players, so it was 1 out then, second and third, with Cruz and Rosario up.
Sure.
That's he said that the percent chance of one of those or both of those guys scoring went way up because he did bunt him over.
I can believe that.
It's just Cruz had a bad at bat, and then so did Rosario.
Yeah,
which happens. But a little worrisome a little bit on that with the left on bases and just not getting the key hits with runners in scoring position. Because if we're not blasting home runs, and it seems a lot of our home runs lately have been solo shots.
That has been weird. I noticed that too.
They have.
Because it just seems like all of a sudden you hear someone in the background. It's like, oh, home run. It's like, oh, and you look up and it's like, yeah, but there's only one guy running around the base right now. And it's like,
true.
darn.
You guys mentioned that last week on the show too. Just lots of single home runs. It's really it's nice. It's a run, but it doesn't do that much damage.
No,
like we're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So it's so that's why you got to hit when there are runners in scoring position. And we've had a little trouble over the last week. Once again, like we've been saying, it's a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We're gonna have weeks where we have trouble hitting in. And next time we have 3 bases loaded situations, might have 3 base clearing doubles.
Yeah, who knows?
That's just the way baseball is.
Yeah, it balances out, and it is strange that and the terrible defense lately. Whatever.
Yeah, the errors.
Very unlike.
Great segue.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say I looked down at the sheet too. Yep.
Great segue. So that's something that I think we definitely have to watch too. That's 10 errors over the last about. It was like 3, 4, 5, last 6 games.
Yeah.
So they had 2 on Sunday. They had 3 on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then they had 5 on Wednesday. So that was 3, 4. That was 5. Actually, it was 10 errors in 5 days.
Yeah, 5 against the Royals.
And it broke down. And the loss on Wednesday was attributed to those errors because those were at late innings there. And that's when they scored their runs. Sunday, that gave them a little more of a lead. But it broke down like this. Morin, pitcher, 1 error. Gonzalez, 1 error catch. Garver, 2 errors. And the main ones were Crone, which we had 3. Those were all ground balls.
Weird.
Which, we've talked about how great he has been at first. So we'll just chalk that up to maybe some bad bounces and maybe just, we'll see how it looks. We'll see how it looks when in the next couple of weeks. But the other one was Sano, 2 ground balls and 1 throw.
Yeah.
Which, of course, just gave the Twitter trolls, more hate for Sano because, when they're quiet as hell when he's blasting home runs and hitting multiple doubles in a game. But he commits an error or strikes out twice in a game, all of a sudden it's the end of the world, and we need to release him as soon as possible. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
you can't listen to all that.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see what Rocco will do now. What type of manager is he? Do the pregame warm-ups change? Do they add different drills? I mean, it's the air bug is awfully weird and obviously won't stick around. But he's the type of guy that if we need to make a change, we'll make a change. And so it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, I think that's one of those weird things with the air bugs too. When they come in that group like
Yeah, they
that,
come in bunches.
and it is,
Weird.
but it's such a psychological thing. It's almost like everybody starts playing too tight because they don't want to they don't want to be the next one to do something wrong. So it's like, I think that they're gonna have Rocco's gonna have to try to get him some kind of something to loosen them up, and just like you said, just a little change of routine, something to get it out of their heads.
Yep.
I mean,
do something, switch something.
Look
up.
forward.
So that's definitely something we got to keep an eye on. Obviously we're sitting here nitpicking because we are the best team in baseball, and that's all you can do. And you can only praise so much.
Yeah, truly.
Without getting kind of annoyed about it. So, so obviously the left on base problems the last few days and the errors last week. The errors are definitely something we got to watch. Left on base thing is just, it's game time situations, and it varies so much that it shouldn't be something long term to worry about. But we'll jump into Perez in his struggles. Who is Martin Perez? Is he
Right.
is he the pitcher from the first couple of months, or is he the pitcher that has been over the last 5 starts? Last 5 starts going back to May 23rd. He's only gotten past 5 innings once. That was his last game on Sunday.
Yeah.
But otherwise, his earned runs have been, I'm going to say his runs, because obviously there's been errors. But if he was pitching better, he should be able to pitch around those errors for the most point.
Yeah, that's fair.
But his runs given up 2, 6, 5, 4, and 5.
It's been ugly.
Yeah, there's 3, 4 unearned runs out of those. But still, 2, 6, 5, 4, and 5 out of 5 innings or less. You don't want that from your starting pitcher. You want
Clearly
3 to 4 max. But his ERA got all the way down to 2.89, but now it's ballooned back up to 4.09, and he's been over the last month now. He's had a 6.75 ERA, 1.75 WHIP, 21 strikeouts, 12 walks, and he's 1-2 over the last 30 days.
Yeah, that's the number of the walks.
And that's what gets you in trouble.
Yeah, it does.
So, what's going on with him? Let's see. Let me just take a look at. He still walked a lot during those games that he was pitching well in.
Yeah.
He just was able to pitch around them.
Sure, they didn't come back to bite him.
More strikeouts. Yeah, he had a lot. He had several more. He had a lot more strikeouts.
Yeah, his control's gotten pretty squirrely. I don't know. It's another one of those interesting things. How do they approach him? They're obviously, working on something, but I don't know. It's not working.
It'd be just nice to. I have no. Obviously, we've talked about with pitching. I have no problem with them having bad games or multiple bad games in a row.
Sure, can happen.
But yeah, we're at 5 bad games after 5 really good games.
Yeah, so it's starting out it's kind of like, okay, which one is it now?
It was black and white. Yeah, he's not sprinkling them in.
Yeah, I don't want the Jekyll and Hyde where you're either lights out or you're getting blown the hell up. Let's see some middle ones in there, and in the occasional great game and the occasional bad game. But long parts of just bad or good just isn't good as a whole for the game for the team.
He's in an ugly stretch.
Yeah. So that's enough about Perez. We'll see how he continues here. I think he's coming up again. I think he's got Kansas City again, so he has a little chance to redeem himself. But we'll get into some injury news here. A couple hours before we went on the show here, Buxton got put on the 10-day injured list, retroactive till since Saturday the 15th. Cave coming up. We need an outfielder, so obviously Cave is number one on that. So I have no problem with that. He'll play occasionally, but I think you'll see Gonzalez more out in the outfield like he has been with Kepler in center. Kepler's not playing tonight because Cave's out there, and then Gonzalez is out in right and Rosario in left. I saw already for the Tuesday night game. So
okay.
So it sucks. I saw the hit when they hit Buxton. It's
a wrist contusion.
Yeah, officially a bruise now because it came back negative on everything. No broken, no nothing like that. So, but still, we see that with Buxton, and we're like, because he tends to nagging injuries.
Oh, absolutely. It was that wrist injury last year. How many games do you think Buxton played last year? Have you seen this recently? Don't look it up. Just guess. I have.
Well, I know he was,
I was
mad
shocked.
Because last year, I think it was only like 30 to 40, was it?
28.
Oh, wow.
He only played 28 games last year?
Yes, I was shocked at that. But
I thought Beau was low. I was going to say like 40, 45.
Man, no.
Wow. I mean, I knew he was hurt a lot and had nagging stuff last year, but I never would have guessed 28 games.
Yeah.
Didn't play a month.
Isn't that something? So is he one of these guys that doesn't heal well? You know, I mean, athletes do that. Look at Adrian Peterson, somebody who heals really unhumanly
Ungodly,
well. And then there's going to be guys that don't heal well. And is Buxton one of those guys? Let's hope not.
Yeah. So let's hope after the 10 days are up, he's able to pop back in because obviously he's been having a very good season this year. Yeah. And then one surprise is that didn't even know about a few hours later. We put Adrianza on the IL with an abdominal issues. That was retroed back to just yesterday. So
that could be anything from stomach flu to like appendicitis. I mean, or even I suppose if he pulled a hernia or something too.
Oof, ouch!
I hate it when they leave that vague like that. It's like just tell us what it is. This isn't the CIA for Pete's sakes.
And Adrianza, we're gonna miss him a little bit. I mean, he's hitting 271, 2 doubles, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. 20 runs scored. I mean, he's been very good off of the bench. But then who we called up, Arias. Arias is back up, which of course he was doing great too.
Oh man, he was hitting really well when he was up. So
18,
that's good.
18 for 52 with 4 doubles, 8 ribs, batting .346 while he was with us last time. So again, let's hope he continues to hit like that. But it doesn't look like it's going to be a huge fall off in that spot, and he's just a utility guy anyway. So, one of our main guys injured, one of our utility guys injured. Not the worst thing. Doesn't sound like it's no season ending, no broken bones, nothing like that.
That's good news, yes.
So,
and with how well the rest of the team's playing, they can let him take a little extra time. They don't have to rush him back.
Yep, rest, get healthy.
That's a very good point. Very good point. So we'll see how that works over the next several days. Buxton should hopefully be returning when next week's episode comes out. One other thing I wanted to talk about here before we get to the Stinger Spotlight is just some of the hitting a little over it. Let's see, where am I? Kepler has been killing it again. He's, over the last 7 days, batting .346, 2 home runs, 3 doubles, 5 extra base hits out of his 9 hits, 6 runs. He's been, we've talked about it at the beginning of the year, that we're like, well, geez, what's Kepler going to be like? Now that he signed the money, and he was kind of I think we all kind of felt he's a little underperforming leading into this. So I think we were kind of surprised that he got the 5-year deal. Yeah. But he has definitely shown up. 318 over the last 14 days. Last 30 days.
2 weeks ago,
337.
He had 3 home runs in one game because I was playing against him in fantasy, so I got to see that.
And so I mean, you take a look at it. I did the Vikings, the Twins hitting stats for the last month. Obviously we talk about Polanco, and I said he's the team MVP, and he's been, because it's all about consistency. Yeah, both him and Kepler. Both batting .337 over the last month. Polanco plays more often, so he's got more at-bats. Sure. And more hits. But overall, and Kepler's been having more home runs, more runs scored, more RBIs. So he's been doing just as well as Polanco.
He's fun to watch.
Which is awesome. Rosario's in kind of a little... He's been like 120 over the last week. So, but Kepler's been picking it up, and that's our top. Once again, the two guys that we extended for 5 years been killing it this last 30 days.
Yeah, how nice is that to see?
Yeah, that should have gotten rid of any questions that anybody had about them signing him long term.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
good for the front office to see that talent.
It's nice to see some of that stuff finally panning out for those poor
That's
guys
true,
up that
too.
front office. So many years of just nothing working, and now it's like, here we go, finally.
And something like that makes you wonder what the real change is. And I think it comes down to just the coaching style of Baldelli. You know,
It's cool.
You know, what has really changed from last year to
No,
this year
I think
for our
that's-
core players?
Sometimes some of that house cleaning is a big deal. I mean, and not anything is. It was a great ceremony for Mauer this weekend.
Oh,
stuff too.
that was really
But it's
cool.
like, it's kind of sometimes that changing of the guard, and you get these guys like, okay, well, this is kind of our team now. The veterans are they're gone now.
Yep.
The all that we've got a new coach in here. Let's see
New
what we can
thought
do. Let's have some
process.
fun with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shake it up.
Yeah, just. And that's the way they seem. That is something that I've noticed when you're watching the Twins games. It always seemed to me like their bench, like when they'd kind of pan through, they always just seemed like they were kind of stoic, just chilling.
Yeah.
And these guys, I mean, they're laughing and
Oh my gosh!
slapping and having
crazy,
fun. I mean,
handshakes.
yeah.
and-
So I mean,
yeah,
maybe it's
dancing
just
around.
that shot to the arm they
That's
needed.
fun.
I don't know. So
Yeah, that's very fun.
Because it's a game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's still a game. And games are meant to be fun.
well, and let's not lie, winning helps that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you get that. That's going to make
Absolutely.
things fun. So
Sure does.
And I
Yeah.
mean, we've had some of those surprises this year with some of these players. I mean, Ortiz, these. I mean, it's just like, where did these?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, and Barrios. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he has he's looked very, very good
Yeah,
this year.
yeah, it's 9-3.
Yep.
Something like
So
that.
it's yeah.
Hey, it looks really good. Speaking of pitching, I'll just mention quick. Lots of rumors about Madison Bumgarner from the Giants. We'll see. We probably have to give. I don't know. They're saying 3 pretty good prospects, maybe. So
I'm torn on it.
yeah, I don't know either. It really
I mean,
could go either way.
if
He's
you-
certainly not the pitcher that won the World Series for the Giants.
Yeah,
a few
he
years
isn't who he
ago.
was, but
But boy, he's got a lot of experience. He's got a lot of playoff experience. He's
Yeah.
a hardcore
some of
competitor.
the stuff. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, with that,
Oh.
you see that square up between him and Max Muncy when Muncy hit that bomb in the hole.
Oh, my
He took
gosh.
he acted like he took 5 minutes to get out of the batter box. Muncy didn't. He just kind of started to trot, and Bumgarner was right over there, just like move it.
Yeah.
Get the first. And it's
Well,
like,
and that's something that has been brought up because the Twins have such a fun clubhouse, and Baumgartner is apparently very nasty competitive.
Okay.
That you do well against me and I hate you, type of thing. How's that going to flow? So I don't know. Lots of speculation. We'll see.
Yeah, and it's and once again, once he gets here and maybe gets around with our coaching staff, maybe they tweak
switch,
something a little
yeah.
bit, and that makes the difference. But yeah, it'll, like I said, we'll be. I think once the All-Star game is gone away, we'll definitely be really hyping up or moving up and finding out what's going on with the trades, because we got till the end of July.
Yep.
So that last 2.5 weeks, that's when we're going to see some moves for the Twins. So so all
Relief
those
for sure.
Exactly. So
I would
for all
hope so.
those listening and worried about relief pitching stuff, it's most teams don't trade before the All-Star break.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just take a breath. The All-Star break's coming, then moves will be done.
Yeah.
And so overall, like I said, nitpicking a little bit today, but you got to do what you got to do.
It's fun.
that's all
Go
there
Twins.
is to do.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll kind of wrap it up there. Thank you guys for joining me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks.
And we'll get into the Stinger Spotlight here right now.
It's time for the Stinger Spotlight, brought to you by Anytime Fitness in Wilmer, Litchfield, and Marshall.
All right, and here we are now with the Stinger Spotlight. I'm here with Daniel Walsh. Thank you, Daniel, for stopping in and talking with me.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you coming in. So you grew up in Chico, California, correct?
Right.
Which is just north of Sacramento. Tell me a little bit about Chico. What is the town like? What's the sport vibe in Chico?
I love Chico. It's a great little town. It's pretty agriculture based, like out here. Lots of orchards and everything, and creeks and everything. And usually we used to have a semi-pro team, the
Okay.
Chico Heat, and I I used to go to all those games and everything, and then Chico State baseball games. So
Okay. Nice. So, obviously you played there through high school and stuff like that, and you ended up going to Sacramento City, correct? Is the
Right.
college you're from? Mm-hmm. I was looking, did a little Googling of your name to get ready for this interview, and I thought I read that online that on your senior year of high school, you actually struggled kind of a little bit, didn't you? You weren't.
Yeah, right. I didn't play all that much my senior year. I had a pretty off year. I was injured a little bit at the end, but for the most part, I was just struggling.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hey, it happens, and
Right.
and the reason why I bring it up is that you actually had a decent freshman year at Sacramento City, and then you followed it up with your sophomore year this last year, where you batted .301 with 36 runs scored and a team leading 45 RBIs. What do you equate for your improvement going into college from the high school side?
Well, I had a redshirt year mixed in there.
Oh, okay.
So I was pretty undersized. So the redshirt year really gave me time to develop, and we got a really great coaching staff at City, and they really just worked one-on-one with me and helped me out.
Okay, awesome. So before the Stingers here, did you play summer ball before?
Yeah, I play with our American Legion team.
Oh, okay.
In Chico, the Chico Nuts. So
Okay. The Chico Nuts?
Chico Nuts, yeah. Because we got a bunch of orchards, so it's kind of like a plant. Yeah.
So like peanuts and
Almonds mostly.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, really? Okay, that's funny. So obviously that was the team from where you grew up and stuff. So were you surprised when the Stingers reached out to have you come up for the Northwoods League here in Minnesota?
Well, Coach Henning was our assistant coach for my first 2 years.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so I texted him. I asked him if he had any spots, and he said, not right now, but then we'll see if we need any temp spots. And then probably 2 weeks before I flew out, he texted me and asked me if I still wanted to come out, and I said, of course.
Yeah, and you mentioned the temp spot, and when I was talking to Ryan, one of the owners, about getting you on the show, he mentioned that you were originally a temp, but it
Right.
sounds like now you're kind of on now, aren't you?
Yeah, there's a little leeway there. I haven't really actually signed it yet, but I'll be here for a little longer.
Okay.
At least, yeah.
Well, that's got to make you feel good. I mean,
Yeah.
You came up here in a temp status, and they're like, no, we want you to stay longer.
Yeah, definitely.
And you've proven that. I mean, you've had a great couple of weeks here with the Stingers already, including being the game MVP, I believe, 3 times that they've
Something
put you.
like that.
Yeah. Act like you don't know. No, and in your batting, I just checked this morning, you're batting .340 on the season already. You lead the team in walks. You have 16 walks. Do you find that as one of your strengths, is being able to decipher if it's going to be outside or inside or high or low? I mean, do you feel that as one of your strengths? Because you walked a lot in college too.
Yeah, I definitely have gotten better at it over the years. It helps we have pretty good umpires compared to what I've been used to in junior college. So yeah, that helps. That definitely helps a lot. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean that's one of those things. You get on base and doesn't matter if you hit or walk as long as you're on base.
Right. Yeah.
So how has it been? How has your experience been so far here in Wilmer playing with the Stingers?
Oh, I love it. It's a great atmosphere. I've never really been on one of these collegiate summer teams, and they have all the crowd stuff going. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It gives you that almost minor league feel.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Yeah. So, what do you think of Minnesota as a whole? I mean, did you know much about Minnesota being a California kid?
I never really imagined myself being in Minnesota, to be honest. But yeah, it's really cool. The weather's a lot different than where I'm from. Right now, I think in Chico it's 105 or something. Oof. Yeah, so it gets pretty hot there, but it's been a nice little cool break out here.
Awesome. And who is your host family up here?
Sandy and Gary Nielsen.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, no, I know Sandy.
Right down the road.
Yep.
It's a 3-minute drive.
Yep. No, that's awesome. That's good. That's good that you're enjoying your time up here. Like I said, you've been taking advantage of it because you've been kicking some butt on the field. And I noticed you tend to play second base. Is that usually where you're playing in college too, or?
Yeah, for the most part, I played a little third base, and I played shortstop in high school.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah, I can play pretty much anywhere in the infield.
That's what John kind of joked about because I asked him too because I noticed he's been lining up at third a lot, and he's like, "Well, we all come in as shortstops."
Yeah, right.
And then they spread you out. So, well, awesome. Well, we'll go ahead and jump into the quote unquote rapid question segment. Here's just quick questions, 1, 2, 3 word answers. And if you have to think about it for a second, no worries. Everybody usually does on a couple of these. So this is just kind of a get to know you a little better segment. So,
Okay.
Favorite color,
Cardinal.
which is good because we're the Wilmer Cardinals here.
Oh, right.
Yeah, our high school team. The high school is Cardinals. Favorite MLB club.
Oakland A's.
One thing you can't live without.
Probably my phone.
Your generation? No. I'm like that too. I can't talk.
Yeah.
Favorite thing to do in your downtime?
I really like fishing, but I haven't been able to fish out here yet.
Well, yeah,
so
you definitely have to take advantage of that at
Yeah.
some point up here because
soon.
we have a few lakes up here.
Yeah, lots of late. Yeah.
Let's see. Favorite all-time baseball player?
Ooh. Probably Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds?
Yeah.
Nice. Favorite, the one food you can never get sick of?
Probably hamburgers, cheeseburgers.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show of all time?
Favorite TV show. Ooh, that's a tough one. Probably That 70s Show. I used to watch that a lot. That was probably
Yeah, that's a good one. Favorite movie of all time?
favorite movie. Probably The Dark Knight, the Batman one. Yeah,
Very good. Yes.
that's a good one.
What do you want to be doing if you're not playing baseball? You know, what career do you want in the future? What's an ideal job or career?
Well, my major is business right now, so probably something in like business field. I haven't really thought about it too much.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Have some fun now. All right, now we got Ford or Chevy,
Ford,
PlayStation or Xbox,
PlayStation.
Burger King or McDonald's,
Oh, McDonald's. 100%.
smell you hate the most.
Smell I hate the most. That's a tough one.
Yeah. That makes
I don't know, like burnt like food. I don't know that. Yeah.
the burnt smell.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Smell you love the most.
Ooh, that's a tough one too.
Told you there's a couple
Probably,
fingers.
yeah. I don't know, maybe like some freshly cut grass or something.
That's a common one
Yeah.
here. That's what Cal said, and I think that's what Mark said.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So
Good
that's,
smell.
Yeah, exactly. Superhero power you would want.
Super speed.
Speed.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Running around the base paths.
Yeah.
I think that's called Buxton.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Buxton speed, right? You know,
Yeah.
some Buxton speed since you're in Minnesota here. Mm-hmm. Favorite musical group or artist?
Ooh. I've been liking Jason Aldean at the moment, but
Nice.
it changes, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, you can listen to Jason Aldean on K95.3. See? It was perfect.
Right.
Then your favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving, I'd say.
Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, that's the end of the Stinger questions for you, the rapid question segment, get to know you a little bit better. I want to thank you for coming in and taking a few minutes to do this interview with me. And, good luck the rest of your time with the Stingers. Mm-hmm. Good luck in your college career and whatever comes after that. But thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, and that was Daniel Walsh, great kid. Really enjoyed that interview. So thank you to Daniel for stopping in for the Stinger Spotlight. Thank you again to both Dan and Jeremy for coming in and being on the show. And thank you guys for listening. Subscribe, thumbs up, and we will see you next week.